It's funny because I was literally, I mentioned this before my break. I was literally thinking about Maggie Siff and her character and the fact that, like, she just never came back. It was a very abrupt departure. It happened off screen. I mean, we have the final scene with her. Clearly, they're in the outs, the two of the characters. But then it's mentioned off screen that, like, she's out of here, right? For, what was it, like a 3-month cruise or some shit? And then I was expecting, like, she'd probably come back in this season, right? We hadn't seen her. But, here's the thing. I don't really complain about this situation when they're not lead actors, because recurring guest stars require actor availability. And actor availability is such a nebulous thing. It's just unpredictable. Are you available February of 2023? Here we are in October of 2022. You ask person, are you available in February? They'll be like, okay, I have these 17 days where I'm doing something. And it's not just like they're not shooting all the time, especially if they're married with children. They block off family time as well, right? So they may only literally have 6 days in February, and only two of those days out of the 6 are back to back. You can't do anything with that if you have to shoot this episode in February. On a TV schedule, a movie, you have a little bit more flexibility. Not much, but you have some. It depends. Like, Marvel movies have such strict release dates that I mean, it's not like they finish a movie and, okay, when can we release this? No, before the script is written, they have a release date. So that's a pretty hard deadline, but still not as harsh as TV deadlines. So it's just, either the actor's available or not. If they're not, the writers move on. Like, they don't have time to cry about it. Unless it's the lead actor. Lead actors are available. The first priority is the TV show they're a lead actor of. They can't beg off. This is in their contract. You have to be available these days. Period. No question about it. But if it's a recurring guest star, even if they're like literally in every episode, if they get a fucking lead job somewhere else, they're gone, man. You might barely have time to write them out of the show, but they're fucking gone. So that's just how it works. So I don't like complain about recurring guest stars who just disappear. Famously, the actress who played Rose in Lost. She was there for the first half of the season. Then her husband, she married a guy who was going to die, and they actually made that part of her character's storyline, her backstory, in season 2. But in season 1, that happened, right? So she had to take the second half of that season off. So that's why we don't see her. She's still there. She's just right around the corner. She, see these trees are blocking the camera. We can't see her. She's right there. So she's there, but the actress was gone. And they just had to ride around. They just didn't mention it. Didn't say, oh, well, she got kidnapped and bring her back later. They didn't make any big deal about it. She's just, she's there every now and then. But for the last half of season 1, she's just not there. Because the actress wasn't available because her fucking husband was dying. Ain't nobody going to complain about that, right? So, my point is, was it a writing decision or was it actor availability? I don't know that, so I can't complain. If it's a writing decision, I think they're fucking idiots. If it's actor availability, then okay, what are you going to do, right? Let's get back into this shit. I just realized this is Peyton List. Not the blonde Peyton List that I love. The dark-haired Peyton List I love. And they had a fuck-up, with the Screen Actors Guild. You're not supposed to be able to have the same name. So, Jonathan A. Walker, right? If there was ever been a member, I don't know. Now, I don't know if it's ever been. Like, what if there was a member in the 40s, right? But he's been dead for 30 years? That I don't know. But if there is a current actor named Jonathan A. Walker, you cannot have Jonathan A. Walker on your SAG card. You can't do it. You have to do something else. That's why a lot of times you'll see these actors make up a last name because there's somebody that's already got their name, right? It's not always simply because they like the new name better or they want to brand it or something. In this particular case, there was a fuck-up. There's this Peyton List, and then there was the other Peyton List. They both were entered in this Peyton List. It's not supposed to happen, but it did, right? Caused all kinds of fucking problems. Even IMDb gets confused with them sometimes. And now Peyton List, the new one, the blonde one that's on Cobra Kai, she's Peyton R. List. So she did change it. It's been changed, but there's still, every now and then you'll see a fucking snafu or something. One of them will get the other one's check. It's just, I keep hearing, like, back channel stories about this shit. A friend of mine knows the new one, every now and then, or knows her mother, I mean. Every now and then I hear, like, a story and shit, right? Just the biggest fucking hassle you can possibly imagine. And it wasn't them that fucked up. Like, when you were entering, you said, this is my name. And normally, the SAG Screen Actors Guild would be like, nope, you can't do that. You have to change something here. Do a different middle name or something like she did with Peyton R. List, right? But, no, it was a bureaucratic fuck-up. It also, the worst part about all this is Google. This Peyton List is talented, but she's about 10 years older. So the young crowd Googles more, right? So if you Google paid list, you're going to get the blonde. You're not going to get her. You have to go way down if you want to find her on IMDb to find out what she's been on, right? So I love her. She's been on a lot of shows like Tomorrow People. Fucking, did a little bit on Flash and Frequency, where she was lead on Frequency. A lot of good shit, man. She's a good actress. I took a break to rest my hip, and I was reminded, almost out of nowhere. You remember a show called The Dead Zone? Not the movie. The show based on the movie, which was based on the novel, right? I once submitted a script to them. And in return, I was given the show Bible. And the show Bible, it was specifically for people submitting scripts, right? And the way it goes is what you do is you write an episode of some other show, not their show. So, for instance, if I'm submitting a script for Dead Zone, I actually wrote a script for Enterprise. You know, and so you submit a script for some other show. Usually it would be the same genre. So if it's CSI, you would do some other CSI, right? So whatever the other versions of are, I can't remember. LA Law or some shit, right? But so that's how it works. So I submitted me in particular, I submitted an Enterprise script, and so they was giving back a Bible, and one of the things they talked about in this Bible was when you're writing guest stars, always keep in mind the purpose of a guest star on a TV show is to reveal something somehow either reveal something or affect in some way one of your lead actors. Now, Dead Zone really had just one lead actor, Johnny Smith. Now, there's his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend, and her husband. And then there's a preacher who's in almost every episode. It's all interesting stuff. But really, it was Johnny Smith. So, on Dead Zone, if you had a guest star come in for an episode, it has to affect him. You know, like the person, they have to affect him in some way. Maybe they reveal something. Maybe he's been jealous of his ex-girlfriend being with somebody else. And so they're jealous, and that reveals, he's looking at her talk about being jealous. He's like, damn, I guess I'm jealous about myself. Something like that. You never want the guest star to come in and just run the show. The episode to be about the guest star. Now, every now and then you'll see shows break this rule. Person of Interest has done it. A lot of shows recently, now remember this was like 15 years ago. Sometimes shows will have an episode where the guest star is really the star of the episode. And you only just, every now and then you'll see the leads of the show that you usually follow just enter, like I said, Person of Interest did it. They only had 4 or 5 minutes of screen time in the entire episode. Everything else is about the guest star. And I think a lot of the TV schedules these days, they want to give the lead actors rest. So sometimes they'll do an episode where they don't work very much. So that's the reason for that. But yeah, you can break the rules if you're running the show. But for people submitting a spec script, they can't break the rules. They have to follow these rules. But it just reminded me, this show has had a lot of great guest stars. Peyton List is one of them. I mean, she's not like a lead. She may be a recurring star. And the rules are different for recurring stars. But this only, I think, like her third appearance. So, but she's revealing a lot about Roger and Joan. Joan just fucking hates her guests. See, here's the thing, too, that's revealed. My point in all this is, Jane, I guess her name is, Jane on Jane Street. So that'll help me remember her name. Thank you, show. Thank you for doing that. Jane revealed to me that Joan could have been a lot worse to Peggy than she was. Now, Joan talked back. I don't think Peggy really talked back. Although she would push back, but she didn't talk back. Oh, please, you can't be the only one to be allowed to have fun in this office. That shit, that pissed Joan off, right? She was pissed, and I can't wait to see Roger overrule her. She's really gonna be pissed at that point. But it does show me. I think I was being too hard on Joan in season 1. I really do. I think Joan actually liked Peggy and was trying to help her, and now at this point in season 2, she's like, why bother telling this bitch anything? She never listens to me. I've had this relationship with people sometimes. You want to give them advice, you see something in them, and you want to help and ease their life in some way. Like if they would just listen to this advice, their life might be easier. And they never fucking listen. Ever. They never fucking listen. So I've had that, right? So now I'm relating to her a lot more, and I'm really understanding where she's coming from. Because now we're seeing, this makes it clear that Joan was pulling some punches when it came to Peggy. That we've seen that with other people, right? So, like I said, you want the guest stars to reveal things about the characters who are our main characters. And this show has done a wonderful job of that. Like, again, the priest revealed stuff about Peggy, And it's been every step of the way, every episode I've seen this during this little binge I'm doing. We've seen that happen with the guest stars.